Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of RAERAEs Review, where me and my homegirl Erin are going to let you know about the What's Going Down episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Everyone, please welcome Erin to the stage.
Happy Saturday, aunts and unks. Thank you for having me, as always.
Thank you for attending and co-hosting with me. I appreciate it. Aunties and unks, what's going on? You know, before we get started, I always have to recognize this one person on this special day. Tomorrow is his big day, but he is no longer with us. The incomparable Kobe Bryant's birthday is today. I had to remember this when I woke up this morning. It took about 3 years for me to say his name because he means so much. Real quick, y'all, I don't want to belabor this because it still makes me real sad. Purple and gold is a color my family has represented longer than I've been alive, child. So with that being, look, everybody's saying, with that being said, I'm keep along. That's just so funny to hear that people say. Now I'm saying with that being said, I just want to say, bless you, bless your family, and we will always remember you and honor you no matter what. You were a great example of how to move on, move with your gifts, and make that happen for yourself despite whatever else is going on in your life. We wish you nothing but, you and your baby girl, we wish y'all nothing but eternal peace, and say hi to all my peeps up there, and bless your family and everybody who has a special place for Kobe in their hearts.
Absolutely. Remembering the legend.
Okay, so with Real Housewives episode.
It wouldn't be Orange County if we weren't. It wouldn't be California, Orange County if we weren't acknowledging, that if we weren't acknowledging our team, our legends, all that.
For real though. We were surprised, but not really about this episode.
Girl, this is good.
The tea that you've been sending me about this heifer on this show, child. I mean, good grief, girl. I don't know. You know what? So far, who's making more of an impact? Reality Von Teese or Katie Von Teese?
I'm so serious. That is the truth. First of all, shout out to production. I am actually with this little janky gossip storyline. You got me pretty good. I was texting Ray. Oh my God, like a play. I couldn't stop. What about this? Oh, and then I was just, so the gossip train, y'all have me hooked. This was a good episode.
Girl.
Here's the top level about Katie. This woman is running to the blogs about everything she's ever learned about these women. That's what it
sounds like.
And so no matter what, I just want to say, I'm kind of blowing my wad early with my big point, but Katie, it doesn't matter about any of the circumstances. Here's the consistent thing. You have consistently run your mouth to multiple news media sources about every little detail you've learned about these ladies. And so for you to act like you weren't calculatedly like trying to do something, or that you're just like the rest of them, no, B, no. It's amazing how much you ran your mouth. The internet is a swirl with multiple people, not just Keke Monique.
And in episode 8, we are introduced to the infamous Keke Monique child. I mean, ain't nothing like an in-person tea versus anything else. I mean, for her testimony to be given. I can't wait for episode 8, y'all. I'm just already talking
I
about
know.
episode 8.
They did that sneak peek, and I'm like hanging off my chair.
Girl, everybody gonna be tuned in. Shoot.
Dry white wine. Shoot.
Girl, this lady. Okay, well, let's just get into it.
Yeah.
So you know how they do the little vignette. I always say vignette. Yeah. So the ladies are talking to their significant others about all the happenings of last night and the whole Tamra shenanigans of it all. Jen talking to Ryan. They talk their little grease. They little some little Crisco coming out the side of their mouth when they talking about about Tamra.
Can't say I blame them though. I can't say I blame them.
Hey, listen, folks is beefing. It's gonna be what it is. You can't have beef without oil.
I blame Jen for that lip flip, girl. You have overdone it. That scene with Ryan where you ain't got no lipstick on, but your upper lip is causing a shadow on your own face. Ladies, please calm down with these lip flips and like extra filling. Like Miami's killing me too. Like, I'm sorry, that was the biggest note of that. I sent her pic, and I'm not trying to be a body shamer. I've had a lot of stuff and all kinds of things myself, but when you are starting to lose, when you're getting grossly out of proportion, whoa,
it's like a duck bill.
It's worse
That's
than that.
what it looks like. That
looks like a like a beehole.
Well, then we have Gretchen also telling Slade what had happened.
Mm-hmm.
Little grease come out the side of her left mouth. Little grease come out the side of his left mouth.
Right.
They have every right. Like, listen, these folks is beefing. It's gonna be what it is, y'all. Don't even trip. It ain't like they was telling lies about the woman, or were they not, girl? Because that's another point of contention. Too.
Yeah.
That Gina kind of like, well, and then Tamra was like, well, girl, wait till we get into it. It's a whole lot of going on. It's a whole lot. It's all kind of twists and turns that could be and whatnot, not what. It's just, child. It's just crazy. Then Kate talking to Matt.
Right.
Girl, talking about, I was vomiting all night. I was so upset. I doubt it.
The guilt getting to you? What? Vomiting because you're going to be found out? You're about to get caught?
I doubt she was, girl.
I know.
Putting 20 on.
And let me just set the stage for these two. I forgot. He's a journalist too. But just because they're like, yes, he was on TV. I saw an interview with Katie on a random Barstool podcast. I mean, shout out, but still, she did this random ass podcast. He is a popular golf commentator, So they both have a journalism background. I need to reiterate, they both. So for her to act dumb, like she doesn't know what she's doing, and for him to seem like this upstanding dude, no. Both these folks come from the media. Don't forget it.
There you go. I forgot about him. I just remember him playing golf, but he's definitely behind the scenes and all in the business. Yeah, yeah.
And I
Ooh.
say that I have a publishing background. I was in journalism. I worked for a couple of motorsports magazines and like that, motorcycle magazines. I can tell you from personal experience, media is as fake as Hollywood, baby. They are manipulative. The people know how to play the game.
I'm
Publishing is
sure.
it's cutthroat, manipulations and, playing around with the truth and who's the sponsor and what's the motivation. Like, I can't tell you enough that people in journalism have to be calculated. 1111, if y'all are in the West Coast, make a wish. I have to say they are strategic people. This dumb act is not. I don't buy it. I do not.
There you have it. Yeah, it's gonna unfold, and folks gonna be found out. Whichever folks it is, they gonna get found out before the season is over. We will definitely have a definite opinion about who lying and who's lying. Because child,
I'm
this is way too
serious.
much going on.
Well, and like I said, the streets are already talking. Justin Martindale had Amir Asi or something like that, who is a publicist and a blogger. He's kind of obnoxious, but he's also in the mix. He talked about how Katie tried to hire him as a publicist and was spilling all the tea on all of them. She was saying to him when she got really drunk that Katie said she smelled like kimchi. Not Katie. Katie said Gina said she smelled like
Yeah.
kimchi on Watch What Happens Live, and it got cut out. Like, there's Heather McDonald, shout out to Juicy Scoop. She said that she hasn't spoken to Katie directly, but everyone in the internet, and she knows people down in Orange County, that Katie has been talking. So that's just everybody. Katie's been talking.
And here we are, right? Emily is visiting Shannon, and Shannon ain't here for Tamra. She got some texts. And of course, again, they're talking about what happened the previous night.
Right.
But Shannon don't see it for Tamra. Tamra was expecting Shannon to come through, talking about come over before my flight leaves. And Shannon was like, I don't see it for her like that no more. So she left her where she was. She ain't at all.
I don't blame her one bit. How could you look to Shannon to comfort you when you called her a drunk, when you called her an alcoholic, when you literally were pouring gasoline on her in the grave trying to find a match? Tamra, that is just crazy to me.
Girl, yeah, she really thinks, she is owed something. Again, that superiority complex of her she has is just beyond me. Like, girl,
it
really?
is me too.
Really? Now again, we ain't therapists. We ain't got no license and nothing that got to do with psychology, but we recognize things. Come on, people. Sometimes in your travels of life, and in whatever career path or whatever you have come across and have gained extensive knowledge about, we can shoot an opinion and be correct without having licensure to do it.
Right. And these are our amateur opinions. These are our speculations. Although, we both, whatever. We've all had our walks of life and collected and gathered our experience where we have.
I mean, it's because every time I say superiority complex, I just don't want to give off as if, we have this beyond knowledge, but it's just so doggone offensive, in my opinion, to think that you can treat people a certain way and expect those people to have your back or be there for you. They're cordial with you, number one, because of the show, in my opinion, and number two, they're taking their time because of how hurt they were based off of the actions that were done to them. I mean, is that a fair thing to say?
100. It couldn't be more fair. You call it whatever you want because that's your opinion and this is your show. Okay. No, but like, I think that's the biggest problem that the audience is having, Tamra. I'm going to quote you. I was saying, I don't want to steal this saying from you, but it's so adaptable. If you watch and listen and watching. But Tamra,
Yeah.
you are at a place where you are looking to these ladies to support you in a low point in your life. For you to qualify that Shannon brought that upon herself, but you didn't, you brought the lack of empathy upon yourself by how you treated another down and out friend. For you to split hairs and to try to like moralize what you're going through in your life superior, I'll use the word that you did, that you're somehow morally superior because you didn't have a substance abuse problem and have an outcome. I can't get over the audacity you have to tell Shannon that you're sorry and you won't drink around her anymore, and then you show up with one eye open with a Xanax and a drink. I don't care if it was half or a quarter. You were toasted and you turned to substances because you were suffering. Sound familiar?
Mm.
And for you to sit there and then expect the woman that you shat all over, you expect her to be the one to be your confidant. It's insane to me. Now, would it be nice if you had some support? Does everyone do in their lives? Yes, but when you sit on such a high horse, you really make it hard. And let's keep it real. Heather did try to support you. You treated her like crap. Like,
my girl.
anyway, so it's the audacity. It's the
The
audacity.
audacity.
It really is. That's what's killing everybody. The audacity.
Get some shirts made. Hashtag the audacity. RHOC.
Truly. Right?
Okay, so now we're on the day that they're going to the alligator safari thing, child. And, ladies are splitting up into different vehicles. Shannon running late, y'all. She upset and carrying on and upset. And so we have Emily, Heather, and Gina talking on their way. They're in their black car on their way to the gator safari. And Gina talking about Tamra posting, selfish for leaving. And Gina said she spoke to a journalist who confirmed what Tamra said about Katie.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's another, yeah.
That's pretty much our first glimpse into confirmation about something Katie done said that wasn't correct.
Two people, Keke, Monique, and this journalist. And there's more, but two people that you can go see. Aziz as
Who Aziza?
No, go see Justin Martindale. Oh my God, I think his name is. Anyway, I just said it earlier, so go back to that. Justin Martindale had him on his podcast, Behind the Velvet Rope. David Yontef, shout out to him. He's had this guy on. He's a PR guy. That's also like a blogger. He had an interaction with Katie. That's a blog you can go, or a YouTube show you can go and watch. Justin Martindale. And then Heather McDonald on her recent episode talked about Katie and hearing from multiple sources that she's been running around with this. And if you're enough interested, Gretchen and Slade are on Heather's Patreon doing an interview all about this incident.
Okay, so I think I may know what you're talking about. Those two guys that were talking about how she wanted to take the tickets to the fashion show, and he was like, "No,
yes.
Okay, them. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he let out a whole lot of things. Pretty much they're all saying similar things.
They are
doing. And devil's advocate. How are all these different content creators, YouTubers, industry friends, people that have their own going on within the industry, whether it's podcasting or just being in the know, you know what I'm saying? How are they all just gonna conspire against Katie? Doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Okay, I'm so sorry, Amir. Yas. That's why I thought of Amir Yas. Check him out. He's got his own thing going. He is a PR guy. He grew up in LA, in LA Persian. I totally he is very well connected. That's the thing. Katie decided, because she has a journalism background, everybody, and I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but I cannot say that enough, because this was a calculated thing where she went, and this, in my opinion, looks like a newbie trying to maneuver. First of all, their little alcohol business has not gotten off the ground. They thought they were going to get on this show. They thought that they were going to promote their little tea shots, their little alcohol brand that they thought was going to get off the ground. But they're actually, they're being sued right now. It looks like it might be a first law. Yeah, well, no, they're being sued. She said on an interview, on an interview that they're being sued. Another guy that has a tequila is with tea, like a golf tee. He's trying to say that they're copying them. So they thought they were gonna just come on the show, promote this little brand, right? They thought, because of all of their media contacts and their knowledge in the business, they thought they knew how to play this right. Katie told Amir in the Justin Martinelli interview that she wanted to be a correspondent on Good Morning America, wanted to leverage this experience to get further into journalism, thought she'd go and play the game like all the other ladies who have relationships with bloggers. I mean, Tamra is a blogger. She just thought she could do it, but she came in way too hot, didn't have any alliances or any didn't build any trust, didn't do any of the work that the rest of these women had to do to get where they are. And boy, she made a good storyline, because she's lying. That's the part, man. I'm like, you're a liar. And so is your husband.
Yeah, it's looking quite yeah, it's
not looking good.
So there was one funny moment in this scene. Now they're on the gator excursion, but right before they leave, they're about to leave Shannon, right? So Shannon finally shows up. I mean, you know how when you're about to get on either a roller coaster, airplane, whatever the case, that has safety precautions and needing to be listened to. This is at that point where Shannon's car is pulling up. So they're like, well, Emily was like, well, listen, she ain't here. It's time to go. Because, of course, people are stickler about their time. Of course. They're back in time waiting on you. I mean, this ain't Real Housewives of Miami where, this Lisa Hochstein child. She would have been left if it was up to me. But anyway, this ain't Orange County, y'all. Now, Shannon arrives. And she's upset because, of course, in the car, she called Gina emotional. And Gina was like, yeah, okay, she's pacifying her, just to get her off the phone. But really, I can't deal with this. So come to find out, Gina has this anxiety being on this boat and because of the gators and everything. And it's becoming more and more intense, because she's trying to relax. And I get it. That's why when I get on the plane, I have to sit in the front row. I can't be with no shenanigans going on, because every time you hear about some shenanigans, it's behind that curtain back there. I can't sit and be uncomfortable and be nervous and then have some shenanigans going on next to me or around. I need as much peace as I can. So that's why I sit in the front row, just saying. So I understand Gina. She is just having this anxiety going on, and for some reason, Gina's having this anxiety.
Yeah, she is. And it's coming out in irritability. I think we could tell that she was starting to get kind of nervous when Shannon called. Although it's very reasonable to be annoyed with Shannon. You know, it's like, you're late. This is something I'm nervous about. I don't even want to do this. I want to get this over with. But even though it was her idea, I respect that she's trying to face her fears and all that. I do. I just want to say, what the hell are these women wearing to a swamp? Why? Emily is in these leather pants and a swamp. What are you guys doing?
Listen,
You
everybody's
knew
child is just what it is, child. Sometimes you can't help it. I mean, girl.
just
Um, it's
looking so
okay.
stupid.
For some reason or another, what's her name? Shannon wants to feel overly. Well, she wants to try and correct as much as she can, knowing that she's going through this anxiety issue, which is why she called Gina in the car. Gina trying to pacify her and everything. And Gina has her own anxiety. So on the boat, after giving all the instructions, Shannon finally arrives and is just overly, apologetic, and it's making Gina's anxiety worse because Gina understands where Shannon's coming from, but it ain't helping because Shannon says when she had a panic attack, and she said, "Well, I'm about to have one now because of these gators and this boat. I'm uncomfortable and dealing with you and what time is it? And your bull, and I just, it's just really, really, too much for me." But at the same time, it's like everybody is annoyed by Shannon. Everybody's annoyed by Shannon, right? So for some strange reason, they're just trying to ignore it for the most part. But now it's like, okay, we'll just move on. So at the same time, they're having a cool time at the gator boat. Everybody's sitting all close to each other, don't want to be on the side in case the gator want to come on the boat. But it was kind of funny. It was kind of funny.
It was one of those disaster things, like where we're laughing at their pain. They all, I mean, yeah. I think I just chalked it up to Gina's super anxious. She's trying to face her fears. Shannon, you were late. Like, just be calm for Gina. This isn't about you. And she was trying to ask you not to do that, but these women at this point trying to make anything not about them is not the easiest request.
And also reminds Heather of how uncomfortable she was because, of course, the waters, that nasty gator water, swamp water is flying on them. I need one of them hazmats before I do anything like that. If I do it when I go to go over there next year, I will not have any of that water splashed, not even on my shoe, let alone my skin. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine. It's one thing to have just ocean water on you, but you talking about swamp water?
Yeah.
No. I can't do nothing with Shreking in with that. I'm sorry.
That's funny.
So then, all that's over with, y'all. So we have not a cute little moment, but Emily calls Shane at the Heezy, Gina over there too, and she's just checking in at the house, and she's irritating him, but it's kind of cute because he's just, he's like, I'm managing things. I got this going and that going, everything fine. Emily's, concerned, and she's like, did you take the baby to his appointment? He was like, what appointment?
I know.
He's like, yeah, I got it going on, mama. Bye. Gone somewhere. Now you bothering me. Just gone.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just having a cute little moment. Because we need cute moments on this show. And I'm glad. Remember how I've been saying production needs to give us something other than just what they feel is tea and shade all the time. We need a balance, more so of stuff that's not so salacious. We need to see them in their element. We need to see them happy. We need to see them communing with family and friends. That's not turmoil. And I'm glad they're doing that. It's because we're reporting on it and we see them more as a well-rounded person versus they're always in mess. See, because production gives us the narrative where we make our opinions about, but we're always questioning production because production sometimes ain't worth the pot nor the window.
Yeah, I mean, he was so funny. He sounded like a spouse that was like not on the trip. It was home with the kids. You know what I mean? Like we could all relate. Like we're the one home with the kids while someone's calling to check in. Yeah, great. Thanks. Bye. Like, go enjoy your child. I know you're at work. It was very relatable.
Girl, wait till I seen this video we took yesterday. Oh my God. It's relatable to this. Like, how, like you said, that the dad's taking care of the kids,
yep.
and then the mom checking it. Wait till, anyway, some person. Anyway, back to OC.
Yeah.
You're going to follow out when you see it. Okay, so now that they're going to dinner. Ooh, the infamous dinner, child. Remember, Tamra gone. She already in the OC. Eddie got her a ticket. She left at 4 in the morning. And remember, that's when Shannon left her on red. Now, girl, gone, on.
Yeah.
So they going to dinner. And while Emily, and another cute moment, but Heather brought it up as, now remember when you was taking digs at me? Now, remember when you said I was taking digs at you? Now you taking digs at me? That doesn't feel right. So at the time, were they joking, but kind of going back and forth? Child, Gina choking on an oyster, y'all. Literally, she is gagging, vomit, doing everything she can to clear her esophagus. Because, child, she is somebody about to do the Heimlich. And the post chef is just looking like, man, like, oh, but he's used to that, because them oysters was big, like a baseball big, like, dang, girl, I ain't never seen no oyster that big, child. It almost looked like a conch from the conch shell.
Oh man. Well, you would think with what she said about her man's, her man's balls, she'd be fine.
No. Oh Lord, but that was kind of cute. They'll probably talk about it offline or something, because Heather was serious. She was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I think Heather was maybe trying to have a moment where she was like, stop picking on me, because I could see it. I just feel like Emily kind of goes after Heather sometimes. Like I always looked at her cross-eyed when she was talking about the big girl issue. I'm like, Emily, that's you. Heather didn't do that to you.
Hello.
So anyway, I thought that was funny though. She's like, yeah, I could be dying and these two won't stop. That was funny.
For real.
Yeah.
Now on the way to the doggone restaurant, we got Katie, Jen, and was it Katie, Jen, and Gretchen?
It was.
And first of all, just like the other folks, when you are being accused of something and you need to clear your name, you need to, not that you may want, no, you need to clear your name, because this may be your last time on this show type of thing, as bad as you want to be on it. I would have been calling, texting, smoke signaling, all sorts of ways to contact this Keke person and be like, girl, this is what's going on, right? Yada, 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 yada. I mean, but she just, Katie don't want to just do what she needs to do. And that's why it also seems real skeptical that she's just playing in these women's faces. And everybody's like, wouldn't you want to clear your name to the point of, doing any and everything you can, especially when people don't believe you when you say your name is Katie? How do you feel about that?
I don't care if I loved and respected you as a journalist, which I do for Keke Monique, but I don't care how much I respected you. If you lied about something this serious that I said, that you claimed that I said this bombshell and I did not, I'd be on Instagram Live going, Keke Monique, you're a liar. Keke Monique, you are a liar. You better call me back immediately. Like I would be publicly, no, liar. Like you're, you know what I mean? Like I would be those that are falsely accused are angry and at the injustice. Like, police detectives talk about this when they're doing interrogations. You know what I mean? Yeah, the guilty don't like there's a level of anger from the truly innocent that is falsely accused that comes out, that is a signal, right? Have we seen Katie like fighting to prove her name? No, we haven't. And then we get a story in the confessional about why, what's really going on.
Girl.
So, you know, and the thing is, like, I can understand that Katie probably does seem really nice and you like don't necessarily like you want to give her a chance. I understand why Gretchen is not so sure about things. They've all triple dated, they all like each other, like whatever.
It's the messenger for Kate, for Gretchen. It's the messenger.
Yes, agreed. And that really does matter. And like, you know, listen, let's give Tamra a point. I understand why you were maybe upset that you weren't being believed over Katie, but like, you also weren't letting the room breathe at all. You took it way too personally. Gretchen was just saying, well, maybe the journalist lied. It wasn't saying that you lied. But Tamra was quite under the influence at that point, so.
Now, even in confessional and at dinner, Gretchen's point is, as we're both saying, it's the messenger. And plus, Katie hasn't done anything to me. So I feel more compelled to believe Katie versus someone who has hurt me, my family consistently, and won't take it back. So, you know, it is what it is. And then in the midst of all that, Gina's interrupting her because Gina has the notion that perhaps Gretchen may have said something to that effect. And, you know, and to be honest, I said, you know, sometimes these ladies give their interpretation of what they were, because I haven't said much about it, if any. Just think, and I'm going to let this unfold, because again, a lot of these women will give, well, this is what she said. No, that's not what she said. That's how you interpreted it. We need to give verbatim summary. You know, if you're going to quote somebody, quote them. Don't, or just say, this is what I heard her say. She said something to the effect of, she said something like, but if you're going to quote them, she said this, then you need to verbatim state what she said.
Why are you telling the press?
That's the point of contention. Gina's trying
wait, it was me.
To, you know, to say, you know, in the midst of trying to get Gretchen to possibly hear. Ain't that nothing?
So I swear, and I'm sorry, I got excited, so I kind of interrupted.
We both excited, child.
Right? I'm just saying, I want to acknowledge, though. No, I want to be a conscientious person. You know, like I want to say I'm sorry. Like you know.
Me too.
Anyway, no, you're good. You had a great point. I think I'm nearly positive I have seen scenes where Gretchen said, but I remember she said in that little voice, but I did go to the hospital. And then she says she didn't. So I've seen a little bit of a confliction there. And that's okay. That's fine. You know, like, honestly, here's my question. Why is Katie going to tell Keke Monique that? Why is Katie telling Amir Yas that? Why is Katie running to tell everyone she can about this story? Like, on top of all the other things that they're claiming that she said. So you can't erase the fact that you're telling everything you've ever been told to the media. So that's the problem. And you know what? Maybe Gretchen did fudge it a little. Maybe she got a little over dramatic. Maybe her and Slade put some sauce on some stuff that they're not willing. Maybe they were hoping that, you know, whatever it leaked. This is lie number what? This is like gossip that you went to the blog, record, you get some evidence, like number what we're on. And there's others. Like I said, like go watch the Amir Yas interview. He said that making outrageous claims about Gina making racist jokes. Like, these are serious allegations. This isn't just lighthearted gossip. So this is salacious crap, and you're now literally, there's about 4 different people that are credible news sources saying you said it. Keke Monique got on camera, and she actually was on Sheena Shea's podcast and said, this was a nerve-wracking experience. This is not something I like, to be on the other side of the camera like this, like ready for potential confrontation with Gretchen. She's like, but I stand behind exactly what I said.
And it's not too far-fetched, and let me know if you agree, for me to say, I was at Aaron's house, and it was a lot going on. I drank too much, and I had to go to the hospital because I felt like it was more than just me having possibly a hangover, a real bad hangover. And then you say, yeah, girl, Ray said she went over to Aaron's house, and she, it could have been like she was roofie.
Right. Telephone. Like, we modify.
Yeah, because that whole description matches the whole roofie issue, the whole definition of feeling like it's more than just what I drank.
Well, and now go ahead.
No, I'm like, so, it ain't far-fetched for someone to say someone could have, she felt like she was roofie versus saying what she said, as I mentioned before.
Right. And we have this conflicting story of, no, she said she went to the hospital and she tested positive. Then they could go from, I woke up the next day, like you said, and felt like I had been. I mean, and maybe years later when they're talking about it, you know how they talk about a fish story, you originally caught like a regular sized fish, but 10 years later when you tell them the fish story, it's like it was a 6-foot fish, like, I'm not excusing. What I'm saying is, you are taking a lot. You got big old chutzpah to take this story from Gretchen and go run with the press to claim that Tamra roofied her and that there's some kind of claim about like knowledge of this. You know what I mean? It's one thing to go and tell a blogger like, oh yeah, when Gretchen said we went out with them like pretty hammered, we were doing a lot of drinking and like made some outrageous claims about that night, naked wasted. Leave it at that. But like, like you're going for like destruction, and like, yeah. So I just think that this situation and Gretchen and Slade are doubling down that they like never said it like that and all of this kind of stuff and whatever. So, I personally would give Gretchen the benefit of the doubt before Katie based on the track record. I just would, because I mean, how many times has Katie been caught now versus Gretchen? And like Gretchen said, I could have said this years and years ago. I could have talked about this. Do I think maybe it got brought back up again because she was coming back on the show and maybe something got skewed? Yeah, but like you can't make me believe Katie's version versus Gretchen. You just can't. So, and like I said, I think you're right. It was very reasonable to think that there's probably a game of telephone where some like interpretations and some liberties were taken with a situation. The person who needs to weigh in that I do find interesting is Jen. I do
Girl,
think
I was thinking that the whole time you talking.
I do, yeah. I'm like, Jen,
Jen,
Jen, I believe you would lie. I do, because you're a cheater.
Too.
Like, you're a cheater. I know. I believe you would, and I believe you'd side with whatever bread the butter was on the bread. I know you would, because you're greasy. I know you would. I know you want to stay. So I know you'll throw Katie under the bus. And Katie has absolutely insinuated on the one interview that I watched that she feels like she was turned into the scapegoat. That it was the Gretchen, Jen, Katie alliance that basically turned her to be the fall guy. So she's claiming Jen knew all about all of this and, yeah, and is now leaving Katie out to dry. Well, and so, yeah. Which, I believe that could be true, but I also don't think Jen hasn't been caught talking to the press all over the place. So,
But she is somewhat caught by being knowledgeable about some of this stuff, and she ain't talked once about it.
True, and I, like I said, I think she's shady as hell. I think she'll do whatever she needs to do to stay on the show.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Like, yeah. So I'm like, I'm like, I wouldn't rely on Jen for anything, to be honest. I mean, and that's not like, I just think as a new person, you got to be careful how you operate. You just do.
Well, for them, my opinion, desperate times call for desperate measures, and they are desperate. Jen and Katie.
Yeah.
They're just some desperate women
True.
needing to be on this show for different reasons. For, I think, Jen, financial. For Katie, she wants some notoriety and she wants to be famous.
Yeah, I agree. But
I could be lying. I don't think I am, but I could be mistaken. But time will tell.
Mm-hmm. Listen, the grease always rises to the top, right? Like,
ain't that the truth, Ruth?
Yeah. So, if Jen knew more about this and if there was more going on, like that'll come out.
Now, speaking of coming out, Tamra talking to the therapist.
Oh,
and things are coming out. See how I got that going? Isn't that cute?
It was a good transition.
And things are coming out, y'all. She's, I think we saw that in the first couple of episodes where she said she's afraid and she's scared and she's nervous about what is coming out of these therapy sessions. And this last one, she's, again, has this superiority complex. She's talking to her therapist about, to where she just can't believe that no one checked up on her and all this, that, and the third. And girl, wait a doggone minute. Wait a minute. So she's just, and then she admits to taking a half Xanax and drinking. And the therapist just lets her off all light. Well, you're going to have to make better decisions. That's all you're going to say. If you're going to have a therapy session, have a therapy session. That therapist should have warned her about all the things, because it's supposed to be a teaching moment, right, y'all? So teach the moment. Don't just let her, again, these folks, letting these folks off the hook when they're doing these things that are detrimental to their health. Must we be reminded of those who are no longer here? I'm just saying, it is just not cute to keep mixing these substances together, because one minute you're cutting somebody out, the next minute you're going to have a tube down your throat.
I just can't. It's the hypocrisy for me. It's the hypocrisy. You did exactly what Shannon did. You self-medicated. You were in emotional pain and you self-medicated. And that's what Shannon was doing with alcohol, and she was in a shitty relationship. You're splitting hairs on the same exact response. And it's the hypocrisy for me. They're both fruit, and that's all that matters when we're at this level of dangerous, of
right.
unhealthy coping mechanisms, right? But what really, really, really upset me about this scene is the way that Tamra said, "My daughter Sydney left me." How dare you? No, you drove your child away. You are the parent. She said it in the confessional. I feel abandoned, whatever, and then in the way Sydney left me.
Yeah.
She said Sydney left me, and I just screamed at the TV. I was like, "How dare you say that? You must not want a relationship with your daughter. You must not. You cannot say that." And first of all, you're the parent. You alienated your child. You are the parent. She didn't leave you for you to, the narcissism of, for you to phrase it that way. You were not left. Your relationship with your child was compromised and you were unable to fix it. Maybe you were, but you don't say that on TV. You do not say that on TV. I don't even understand you. And you're disrespecting your child yet again by talking about this, because she doesn't want that.
I can see how the abandonment may make her feel.
Sure.
that's also the work that needs to continue for her to realize that, number one, stop talking about that particular child for the whole world wide web, internet, television of the world to make comments about. And second, it is something that you have to recognize, Tamra, judge, that you have to take onus of and just respect that child's wishes and think about it more so than than somebody doing something. Everybody does something to Tamra.
Yes,
And it's
exactly.
more it's worse than what Tamra does to other people. Again, this superiority complex, as if as if anything that happens to her is just on exponent 100, and she just thinks that it's just so much worse. She has a lot of work to do within herself
Yep.
to understand how she cannot treat people how she sees fit, because her view is skewed on relationships. I really would love to see how Eddie deals with this. They, I really, it's a fine line I'm going over right now, but something, I don't know, I don't see how their relationship is not discussed on this show, and they have to have some issues, because that is not the only relationship she has that does not have a problem, unless
Yeah.
it's totally checked out. Because that woman, I know for a fact that she cannot have a perfect marriage, and every other relationship that she has is an issue. I just don't see it. I don't believe that to be true. But then
Yeah.
he uses Teddy also within all of this. Punk Teddy, she's trying to heal and get well and take care of her illness and carrying on. And I do believe she's using Teddy as well as to help, bring sympathy to her so people can treat her better. I really do believe that.
I
Do you?
agree. Yes, I do. Because it's that, yeah, I do. Yes.
Child. Well, I guess we done with Tamara.
Tamra, you need a lot more therapy. Keep going. Maybe find another one that doesn't want to be on TV so they tell you how it really is.
Get well, girl. Get well.
Yeah.
We got Emily and Shane going back and forth and how they're helping their son who has special needs. And they're, in my opinion, this is how I see it. So Emily is she doesn't this is what I think I'm seeing. I could be wrong, but this is what I think I'm saying. Emily does see both her and Shane working to help their kid who has special needs and do all the things. But Emily thinks all of the behaviors and everything is related to whatever the boy is going through. But then Shane says, well, when you're here, he's acting differently than when you're away. But at the same time, he's doing all the things necessary, because from my understanding, just from some professional knowledge base of of keeping standards where they are when it comes to uh, people maybe being below standard and how they behave, you want to bring the patient up to standard and not bring standards down for them. And that doesn't mean that you don't treat them accordingly, because there are certain steps and things that you do dealing with whatever case it is. But I see Shane trying to tell Emily, listen, we're both doing the things, and I especially am on board and doing whatever it needs to help our son. But he sees how the child is maybe playing on the heartstrings more so than being the or just pretty much playing on her heartstrings, but Emily sees it as it all being a part of whatever issue the child has. And I believe that's why she was crying, she that because she wants Shane to see it like she sees it. And that's what that's what I saw. What say
Well, I think Emily has shown me throughout her tenure on this show that she has had a lot of childhood trauma and that she needs to regulate her nervous system. She needs to do yoga, breathing, like she needs to tone that vagus nerve. She has what we call emotional dysregulation. That's
Mm-hmm.
why she gets so emotional, flies off the handle, is so reactive. I think that's part of where a lot of her kind of aggressive behavior when she gets drunk comes from. So I would really recommend, because it just seems like to me that the lens from which Emily operates with this emotional reactivity, how quick it is, that needs some somatic, like that needs some therapy work. However, I was really kind of like struck by the fact that Shane says he parents his children differently based on their gender and like some antiquated things, where he also said that he wouldn't have necessarily intervened with as much help as maybe Emily was trying to do right away. So I do think that they both, one needs the other, because I think they're both a little maybe extreme on the approach and the way they look at it. Because I do think, to your point, I think Shane observing to Emily that maybe there is a little bit of manipulation going on because he's learned that it works, as all children do, right? Um, I just feel for them both, because I think it's a very relatable thing to try to figure out how to co-parent when you have a child that is presenting unique challenges, right? And I appreciate that they're both trying to work on that together, and I respect that they both are doing their best. I do like how Shane is trying to say to Emily, I'm just trying to make it okay, and that like it's normal that we're dealing with this. Like he's trying to keep it calmer and like normalize the fact that there are challenges, right? And I also respect the fact that like Emily's trying to say to Shane, like, no, he does, like there are certain needs though that he has to have met, and we need to change ourselves in order to accommodate. So I feel for them. It's a rough spot. I know trying to pack marriage counseling into everything else they're doing is difficult, but um the one thing I was really struck by is when Emily said, I just wish Shane would hug me and tell me it's all right and like, comfort me. And I'm like, well, did you tell him that? Like, would
Right,
how would he know? So you can
right.
maybe work on some communication about expressing what your
Yep.
needs are, because I think he needs to hear you say that, not what, but you know what I mean? Like, so I think it was a very relatable couples thing. It just was.
Big
Couple
ups
trying
to
to raise a
Emily.
kid.
Yeah, big ups to Emily and Shane. We love how you love your family.
Yeah, I appreciate the dynamic. Y'all made a choice to be in this marriage. You kind of had an unconventional beginning, but like I just think you guys are genuine companions trying to work it out. I'm here for it.
Wow. So next, we got a little, just a cute little scene between Tamra and Heather. Um, okay, so Tamra is telling Heather that Gretchen may have fed intel to Katie, like we were discussing earlier, discussing things and how Katie may have interpreted as yada yada. But Gretchen's like, nah, I ain't saying nothing to her. And then again, she divulges the taking Xanax to Heather, and then also Heather explaining how she needs Tamara to respond and everything. Pretty much how we've been, talking already, and Tamara's just pretty much filling Heather in on, I think, what Heather already knows, if you ask me. I just think Heather is not the type to just put people on blast like that. She'd rather it come to her and for that person to actually discuss it versus outing them. How do you feel about their conversation?
I just like how Heather said, "What are you talking about, Tamara? I was there for you. I called on you. I texted. You chewed me out." Like, I don't think Tamara even remembered. Like, I think that's how wasted she was. I mean, like, so I just appreciate that Heather said to Tamara, I did support you. So I don't know what you're talking about. Because that's honestly how I feel. I do feel like Heather's been supportive to Tamra. I think she's been trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, even when other people don't want to give it to Tamra because they don't feel like she deserves it. So good for Heather for standing up for herself.
Child. Heather, my girl.
She was very reasonable in this scene, for sure. I had to hand it to her. Yeah. And, you know, like I said, this just goes back to, I still stand by, Gretchen may be a little greasy, okay? But Katie, you are like in multiple layers of grease. The lies, the lies, the lies.
All the bad grease, the Crisco's, the
leftover, the burned, the
vegetable, all that.
Polysorbonated, hydrogenated, like the soybean. Anyway.
Oh, Lord. So, at least they're trying to work it out. Now, lastly, girl, this thing with Katie, girl. Now, first of all, remember when, it ain't that far back, y'all. Katie had Katie and Matt, Matt was making his famous, whatever, margarita. What was it? Cosmopolitan?
Dirty Martini?
Thank you. Dirty Martini, child. All this conversation in front of the child. Remember when last year they had a little tete-a-tete about what adults should be discussing in front of children, how children pick up on things? Well, here we go. She pretty much shades Tamra for drinking in front of their young, impressionable son.
As they're drinking.
I'm like, how? I thought we had this discussion last year that you never discuss these people in front of your children. Well, here you are.
Katie has a shady relationship with that kind of stuff. She was talking about how she goes out drinking with her daughter and whatever. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I would have not allowed my daughter to get in the mix on the Orange County Housewives the way that she did, adult or not. And I don't respect what they're doing with this kid either. So yeah, this kind of stuff is shady. We're making drinks and we're talking about drinking, showing our son our hypocrisy.
Child, if that son could talk to a blogger, girl, I'm pretty sure he have a lot to say. I think all the bones are buried with that child. If you ask me.
That's really funny.
And it's not shade the child, it's the parenting.
Yes,
For y'all to understand, ain't nobody over here talking about cheering. We talking about what's happening around the child, which is the parenting, Katie and Matt.
No, this was when I looked at Matt cross-eyed. This is when I went, oh, that's right. You're a news personality too. You're a journalist. You came from all this. That's when I went, oh, you rely on this. Oh, I'm a golf white man, nice guy kind of dude. Like, oh yeah, no, we know what you are though. You're in the press. You're in the media. You came from a journalism background, just like the rest. Like I absolutely realized when he said to her, well, what I can say is you didn't lie. What is that? What is that?
How do you know?
Yeah, like what are you doing? What kind of sidestepping conversation are you having?
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I was just go ahead because I was gonna go, and then we have the confessional where she goes, "I'm not gonna be Gretchen's fall guy."
That's where I was getting to.
Okay.
Now, all this conversation, and again, this is Katie and Matt talking, and Katie's confessional, like Aaron said. Okay, so, so then she tells Matt, Gina talked to the journalist, and Gina said that the journalist said Katie said it, and they're like, well, where did you get it from? They said that, well, Gretchen and Slade were talking. All this pinpointing other people. So at that point, are you admitting that you talked to the journalist? Hello? It sounded like it to me. I could be wrong.
You weren't. No, you were not, because and that's the part I go back to the argument. You have no problem talking to everyone and their mother about everything you learned from these people when you were socializing. How do you justify that? You keep saying, well, I didn't lie, but you flapped your mouth. You told everybody's junk to the press. No loyalty at all. Everyone was an opportunity for you to go talk some mess.
And
So,
Matt said Slade called him trying to convince them not to out Gretchen and to keep it a secret. Really?
on Heather McDonald's Patreon, she does share a clip on her Facebook page, probably on her Instagram too. You can go and see where Slade says, we just had a conversation about how I told him Katie talking to the press as much as she was not good, and all the reasons why it wasn't going to work for them to be talking to the press this much, this soon, all that stuff. He's like, why would, so he's standing by that he was trying to tell him that they had just talked, and it was not go share this story. It was, you need to stop talking to the press this much. And Amir Yas on Justin Martindale says that Katie told him she was not allowed to work with him because Alex Baskin was livid with how much interaction she was having with all of the media. She got in trouble for it.
Yeah, because they all know each other for the most part.
They do.
And I think that's something that Katie just wasn't aware and didn't bet on, for them to actually, corroborate how much of a leaky, squeaky wheel she really is. And she really cannot be trusted. And she really can't. She just can't. Heather told y'all, y'all don't want to listen to my girl Heather. Mm-hmm.
I think that she underestimated how to navigate this. I think she was overly confident, thinking they all talk to the press, I can do it, and did a strategy, but she went too vicious. She went too Monica. She went too much to the other side, Monica Garcia. So I think that it's blowing up in her face, and she's mad that everyone else does it. It's like, but we don't know you, bitch. You gotta ease your way into all this. You can't just go guns blazing at everyone. You have all of these, and you're going for the jugular, drugging people, racist comments, recording people having tirades. You're just, your children talking about other people's children. Wow.
And the final part about all of this was, now, you know how they do the simultaneous showing at the same time Matt and Katie are fable telling. Gretchen, Jen, and Emily are out. Emily's, feeling good, needs some time away and dealing with, the family disruptions and everything, what's going on at the Heasy. And they're just giving her support, which is wonderful. And they talk about the issue with Tamra, Katie, and bloggers and journalists and whatnot. And the point is brought up, even though Jen was quiet. They're like, well, Gretchen was like, I just wonder why she won't talk with Keke about it. Well, duh. There's a reason why. And she hasn't yet. I mean, first it was no reception. Now she's just not even going that route, or even say, hey, I'll call her right now, or how about something? But to actually contact Keke would be detrimental to the whole storyline that she's trying to go with on this show, because it just is odd as hell that you wouldn't want to clear your name knowing that someone you trusted is out here lying on you
on this level. enough. Yeah. No, like I said, I would have been on Instagram Live going, "Hey, Keke, Monique, I need to talk to you, girl." Yeah.
Just
No, I would have absolutely. If someone lied on me, I would have absolutely adamantly used their name with my whole chest. I would have said, "You are a liar. You are a liar. You are a liar. You are a liar." Like I said, there is a righteous indignation when you are falsely accused that kicks in, that I'm not seeing in Katie. And every damn confessional, we have a kickback to, well, here's what actually happened. I mean, remember she said, "I'm not going to lie for Gretchen anymore." So you're a liar. You're a known liar. You're a known liar. So
and then saying Jen is lying too, because she
Yeah.
knows all about it. I'm sure Jen does, but it ain't about Jen really. It's about you.
Jen's not talking to the press. You are.
Girl, it's some stuff, y'all. It's some stuff going on. Like I said, her new name was Katie Von Teeth.
Absolutely.
So every time you hear Katie Von Teeth, you know who we talking about. I think that's it, Mama. What you any more tea?
Nope. Can't wait for next episode.
Ooh, hot tea, hot tea,
Yep.
hot tea. Woo. Well, you know, we gonna have some things jumping off, y'all. New Housewives shows is coming through. Selling Sunset is coming through, y'all. What's the other thing? What's the people?
RuPaul's Drag Race? What?
No, I was gonna say Reasonable Doubt is coming through.
Oh.
We don't even know when Drag Race coming on, child. We know that they were renewed. RuPaul came on her Instagram and said, "Thank goodness they've been renewed another season 19 and season 12, respectively, for Drag Race and All Stars." So wonderful, because season 11 is already taped and done, and season 18 is already. We just waiting for them to broadcast it. Hello.
Yep, I would imagine we'll get it in the fall.
Yes, I can't wait, because it'll be a nice time to cozy up, you know, to the TV with our s'mores and whatever else we do when it's wintertime, you know.
Yep.
Getting it all in, pumpkins and everything. Well, I don't think nothing else is going on in Orange County, child. I think we can end it. What you think?
It was enough. I think so.
Well, y'all, thanks for tuning in with us. We hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to come back next week, as we will be. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. But before we go, we're going to find out where we can find Erin when she ain't talking with me.
You can catch me on Instagram and Threads, psychic_ELB, Psychic Erin. Hit me up in the DMs if you would like a reading. And on Facebook, Psychic Erin Boyd.
All right, y'all. See y'all. Bye. All day.